Hi, welcome guys. We are here today in El Ancla, 1536 North Manheim Road in Stone Park. And today we are here with Luis Alvarez. He is the owner of Carnes Secas by El Macho Panzon.
Correct.
Yes, we're so excited to have you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate having me.
Yes, and can you tell us a little bit about what we have going on here?
Well, right now we have various dishes they sell here at El Ancla, which is owned by a good friend of mine. So we have their ceviche de camarón. It's very delicious. It's featured here. I mean, one of the best ceviches around. They have Wednesday specials on wings. These are their mango habanero wings and their Ancla wings. The Ancla sauce is the same one as the langostino sauce that they carry at various seafood restaurants. And then they got their Taco Tuesday special. Taco poca madre, beer battered shrimp and fish tacos, and asada tacos. Those are their Taco Tuesdays. And then they have my carne seca as a botana, which they prepare with Ancla sauce and cucumbers around the side. And then we have a tamarindo margarita, mango loco, and a flight of tamarindo shots. And again, my carne seca, they sell it here. It's one of the various locations they carry it at.
Awesome. This looks also yummy. I can't wait to dive into it and eat it.
I can't wait. So Chris, can you let us know a little bit about how you got started with your carne seca?
Interesting enough, my story is similar to I want to say like Blockbuster, a lot of these other companies that started off one way or another, correct myself, Netflix. It started because of something that made me angry, which was buying carne seca, and it was spicy or not to my liking. So I decided to make my own, and one Christmas my brother gave me a small little dehydrator, probably a tiny one, and I started making it. And it was as a hobby, obviously, because I always liked eating meat with all my dishes. And my mom would be like, "Oh, hay frijoles en la casa. Well, I want a carne seca."
Yes.
So my dad would always say, "Don't buy the carne seca at the stores because you don't know what situation they have. They dry it in basements. They do this and that, and blah blah." So I started making my own. And then one day we had a poker night with my cousins and a few friends. And I was like, "Oh, let me bring this down." They're like, "Man, this is delicious." And they go, "You should sell it." And I was like, "No, it's just for me right now." So then a friend of mine designed a logo, and he said, "You know what? We're going to sell it at my barber shop." I started at my barber shop. And then he introduced me to a friend of mine, and then, a guy that became a friend of mine, and he had a neveria. And that was my second location. And thankfully now we're in about 70 plus locations right now amongst the Chicagoland area. I ship out to Minnesota, Texas, Florida, anywhere in the continental U.S. So
that's awesome. And it all started at a poker table.
And not right? At a poker table in a sense. You were playing poker, and they're like, "Hey, you should sell it." And I was like,
"And from a gift from your brother."
And from a gift from my brother.
Wow.
He's gonna hold it against me if he sees this. I know him already. So
you gotta love family.
That's how we started, and now thankfully we're in various locations, and this is amongst one of them. And a lot of my success has to do with my network of friends that I have that help me out. In particular, the owner of this establishment. So yeah,
awesome.
It's amazing.
So besides obviously how you got started, and I have to say I love your logo. I love your logo. He looks just like you.
That was the point.
Except for, what did you say?
I forgot the huaraches though. I didn't wear them. It was kind of chilly.
Yeah.
But I used to have a lot more hair when that was made. Yeah.
Well, he still looks like you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And I love the logo. I love the name. Is there any inspiration to the name?
The name came about, I remember listening as a kid to the Beatriz Adriana song El Macho Panzon, and it stuck in my head, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I named it that, and then like a lot of my friends now, they either call me Panzon or they call me Macho. And that's how it goes,
So you related to the name.
I related to the name in a sense, yeah. I related to the name.
Awesome. Well, this all looks really good, Amanda.
I know.
And we always like to dive in and have a taste of everything. And congratulations on your accomplishments.
Thank you.
This is outstanding. Obviously, you're in 70 locations, and there's information where you can follow El Macho Panzon, elmachopanzoninc.com also for ordering as well. And then, are there any other social media pages you want to share with us?
Nice. All of them are El Macho Panzon: Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. TikTok's another one, so yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. I can't wait.
You can definitely Google search the name and find El Macho Panzon and get you guys some carne seca. It is delicious. I've tried it because my dad brings it home. We always gift some to him, and I love it. So congratulations again. And thank you for having us here. This is wonderful. We can't wait to dive in.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye.
Hi, guys. We're back, and oh my God, that food was absolutely amazing.
It really was. It was so yummy. I absolutely love all the sauces and the mancho panzón, carne seca. It
Oh
was
my
so
God,
good.
and the
It was so
langostino
good.
salsa?
Yes.
Oh,
my goodness.
wow.
And the wings were in that langostino salsa. Ancla wings, I think
Yeah,
they're called.
Ancla.
Yes. Strongly recommend you come and visit 1536 Manheim Road in Stone Park, El Ancla.
Yes, you guys have to come by. But moving forward, it's kind of hard after all that yummy food and margaritas, but here we go. So this segment of our Build to Own, we're gonna focus on going back to the basics because we know that there's so much information always being thrown around and people don't really know exactly where to start. So we're gonna just try to walk you guys through the basic steps of preparing yourself to own a home.
Well, when we were talking about going back to the basics, some of what we had a conversation around was what's the first step and the common questions that we always get about the first step in the process of homeownership. That being budgeting, that's a constant and consistent question that we receive. On the lending side, the first step is getting a pre-approval. And so what we do is we sit down and put a plan together based on your current debt right now, and then what is your affordability.
Perfect. I have a quick question, Julisa. Yeah, so if someone is on the fence of talking to a loan officer because they want to pay down debt, and we know that that's important, but what advice do you have for someone who's maybe sitting on the fence? Should they talk to someone? Should they not? What should they do?
I think it's the same thing, and the best way I can describe it is when you're going on a road trip, right? And you basically have to prepare yourself for that road trip, whether you use GPS or whether you know how to get there, but you're going to plan it out to see what stops you need to make. And so for me, it's basically the same process. You should know where you're going, because you can have an idea of what you would like and what you would want, but if you don't prepare for it and put the proper steps in place, it is a lot more tough to get to your destination versus preparing and understanding where are you going, maybe some shortcuts, and letting us give you advice on how to get there. That's the best way I can describe it. It's having a roadmap on how you're going to plan to become a homeowner.
Perfect. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a way that I can go to a loan officer without getting a hard hit to my credit and them still be able to help me, maybe guide me on where I have to go?
We could definitely give you information on the basics of the guidelines, but it's always preferable to actually go with the facts, right? Because we can just make a determination based on the what ifs. However, doing it with the facts is definitely something that is going to give you a better roadmap, right? Instead of just kind of guessing, this could potentially be it. But yeah, we could definitely do like a consultation where we can just give you ideas and information.
Okay, and another question. So say we do the pre-approval and we check my credit score. About how long will it take until I can start, or your potential client can start raising their credit score? Because I know people get scared for getting a hit to their credit when they get pre-approved, but I mean, we would have to know where their credit score is, right? And then about how long will it take to be able to start raising that credit score?
Yeah, so what happens is everyone's a little different, because depending on how recent your last inquiry was, or if you're someone that every time you go to the store and they offer you a discount, you actually apply every single time, you're a consistent person who has hits on your credit, then when we run something, there's potential there for it to come down. However, depending on how much debt the person has, there's many different ways that we can simulate and tell you how to bring up the score. And that's a free service that we have in simulating your credit scores and how long it would take, right? Can we do it immediately? Because if we could do it immediately, we're gonna work with you to do it right away. Right?
Perfect.
And if it's gonna take some time, we'll let you know, because we have time frames. We can determine, is it gonna be 30 days, is it gonna be 60? And we'll give you the plan based on what we see on the credit report.
Perfect. So what I'm hearing is that either way, it's necessary and a very good step to just go ahead and get that pre-approval and see where you're at today and see what steps you have to do moving forward, because you may not think you're ready, or you may think you're not able, but you actually are able to right away, right?
That is correct. And also, if the person is not ready and we need to take the proper steps to do what we need to do in terms of getting them ready, then they know what they need to do versus waiting until they're in their mind or financially what they've determined is ready. And they may still need a few steps that where you, if you know now, you can prepare for them. So it's always a good way to be guided, you know, and like I said, that roadmap to the destination.
Exactly. So I think that's I think that's the first step, right?
Yes.
Like talking to your loan officer. But aside from that, on the realtor agent land, I think it's really important to find a realtor that you trust, someone that's, you know, going to be real with you from the get-go, and someone who's going to educate you on things further than just the market, you know, and connect you to people that you need to be connected to in order to make all these moving pieces fit together.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's part of the roadmap, right? Once we issue a pre-approval and we work with a client, we definitely want to put them in great hands, like, you know, a realtor like yourself that knows the market, that sits down and really gets to know the client and what they are looking for, and not what Amanda wants, or where Amanda wants to steer a client. You always are looking at the best interest of the client to determine what are we going to do to work with the client to get them what they want, but still be realistic, right? Which is one of the greatest things that when you work with clients do, right? You sit down, you talk to them, and you're real. You basically give them 100% of your attention and what is exactly going to be what they are going to be able to afford. So I think that's very important, that they trust you, right, to make sure that you have their best interest at hand.
You got it. So first thing, talk to a mortgage loan officer. Don't be afraid, because you need to know where you're at now so we can figure out where you're going to have to go. And then get you a realtor that you trust and that's going to have your best interests at heart. So,
a one-of-a-kind realtor.
A one-of-a-kind loan officer and realtor.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.